Hi guys. You're gonna have to see me online for the next few days, because I am homesick through the rest of the week. So I'm not sure who your sub is going to be, but I want to make sure that you get the rest of the information that you need for chapter 18. And I want you to hear it from me, even though you're listening to me talk and I sound horrible. So hopefully by the time you hear me on Thursday, I'll be sounding better. But I am going to go ahead. I'm going to see if I remember how to do this because it's been a minute since I've had to record for Zoom. But let me see. We're going to try. Okay. Okay. Here we go. I think it's working. All right. So if you will please open your Chromebooks and open your notes that you had already typed on 18.1. So we're going to finish off Tuesday. We'll do 18.2, 18.3, 18.4, and then we'll do the test for chapter 18 on Friday, and then Monday and Tuesday of next week we'll have to do the Supreme Court cases, and we're gonna hopefully get them all in. We're gonna work really hard to get them all in. But let's go to 18.2, which is about the inferior courts. So I'm just going to do one at a time because that's probably all I can handle right now. And you guys are the only ones that are getting a special message from me, so you should feel special about that. Anyway, okay. All right. Hopefully you got my message to bring your headphones. All right, 18.2, the inferior courts. What are we learning about with that? We are learning about the structure and the jurisdiction of the federal district courts, the structure and jurisdiction of the federal courts of appeals, and the structure and jurisdiction of other constitutional courts. Okay, so that should already all be typed in for you, I think. So here we are in the district courts, and you see a map with a bunch of numbers. Okay, these are the federal judicial districts. And you can see like California is in the 9th district, and Colorado, Wyoming, Utah, Kansas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, 10th district, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, 5th district, and so on. Okay. And you see that the 1st district, Puerto Rico, is also in that one. Okay. So you see all those districts together. There's 94 federal judicial districts within these. Okay, so they include at least one district in each state, the District of Columbia, which is right here, District of Columbia, and Puerto Rico. Okay, so again, there's 94. Got that? Okay, I think you have time to type it. You can always pause it if you need to, which is kind of the nice part about having this recorded. But all right, let's keep going. Here is California. Okay. The larger, the more populous states are divided into 2 or more districts, reflecting the larger amount of judicial work done there. Okay, you all know that California has the highest population in the country. So you can see that there are several districts within California. Because there are so many people and because there's so much work to do, they have to have several different districts. And here you can see, here we have San Bernardino County, which is the largest county in the US. Okay, Riverside County, and then the Southern District. So we've got Northern, Eastern, Southern. Okay, we've got those different districts. In the federal system, there are 3 major steps that we take, and I'm going to show you this. So we have a district court. Okay, that goes if something gets tried in the district court, and if the defendant, the whoever the district court voted against or decided against doesn't like it, they can appeal it. Okay, and that would go up to the Court of Appeals. Whoops. See, I don't know what I'm doing. And then up to the Supreme Court. Okay, now if we look at that, we're going to tell you how many courts and how many justices on each of those courts. Okay, so let's start with the district court. Again, there's 94. And there's 1 judge in each of those 94 districts. 1 judge at each 94 districts. Court of Appeals, there are 12 Court of Appeals courts in the United States, and there are 3 judges in each of those 12 Court of Appeals. And then how many Supreme Courts do we have? You should know this. We have 1. How many judges do we have? We have 9 there. Okay. So those are the three major steps in the federal system. District court, court of appeals, that's an appellate court, and then up to the Supreme Court, which would be appealing it to the Supreme Court of the United States. Okay. Sorry. It hurts. Give me a second. Hold on. Gotta drink some water. Okay. You guys better feel sorry for me. This is not fun. Okay. District courts. Here we go. Let me try again. Okay. District courts have original jurisdiction over most cases that are heard in federal court. Okay, original jurisdiction means the place where it is first heard. If you remember that from section 1, okay? So that's original jurisdiction. The district courts hear a wide range of criminal and civil cases. As a reminder, man, this cough is not fun, y'all. As a reminder, the criminal cases usually involve jail time. Civil cases usually involve some payment of money. Okay, so those are the two differences. Like Judge Judy or the People's Court, that would be civil court. A criminal case in the federal courts is one in which a defendant is tried for committing some action that Congress declared by law to be a federal crime. So a federal civil case is one which involves non-criminal matters. Okay, so again, jail time versus more of paying out sort of some sort of fine or something like that. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense to you. Remember that the civil courts are like Judge Judy or the People's Court. Okay. Criminal court would be like some of the TV shows you watch that have courts where they send people to jail. Okay. All right. The process of a criminal case. Again, these are federal crimes. The U.S. attorney gathers up all of the evidence against you. Hopefully not against you. You understand what I'm saying with that. They present it to a grand jury, and a grand jury is rather unique. Okay. And it's for federal cases. Again, it's somewhere between 16 and 23 people. It varies, but they actually look at the evidence and they say, yeah, this is enough evidence to indict you, which is to charge you with a crime, or it's not enough information to indict you. Okay. So basically the grand jury just looks at the evidence that the U.S. attorney has gathered, and they say, I don't think that's enough. Or they say, yeah, that's plenty of evidence to charge you with a crime. If they vote to indict you, the trial begins with a new jury. So the grand jury would not be the jurors for the actual trial. Okay, so the grand jury, again, is just deciding whether there's enough evidence to indict you. Okay. Makes sense? Yes, hopefully. It's weird. I can't get any feedback from you. You could send me a message. That would be nice. I'd love to hear from you guys. This has not been a fun couple of days here. Actually, it was fun last night. Banquet was fun until I started getting sick, and then not so much. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, still on a criminal case. If you lose your trial, so, okay, grand jury listens to the evidence. They say, okay, enough evidence to invite you to a trial. Yeah, there you go. To indict you. You're on trial for it. If you lose at the trial, you have the option to appeal it to a higher court, an appellate court. Okay. The higher court doesn't have to hear your appeal. Okay. You're not just gonna, well, actually, most lawyers do have you automatically appeal it, but that doesn't mean the Court of Appeals is actually going to hear it, because they have to hear it because there's been some problem with the decision in the lower court. They're not going to just say, oh yeah, sure, come on, let's hear your appeal. They need to have something that's gone wrong with them so they can actually hear your appeal. Okay. And then we got the higher courts have the option to overturn or modify the lower court decisions. Okay. So that's how it is when you go up that level of courts. Okay, good, 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 good. All right, let's keep going. All right, the Court of Appeals, here we go. The Court of Appeals, 1891, so that's quite a while ago. I mean, it's post-Civil War, post-Reconstruction, pre-War of 1812, pre-Panama Canal, all that stuff. But it's created in 1891 to handle a lot of the burden that the Supreme Court was facing, because remember, the Constitution of the United States created the Supreme Court, and they had too heavy of a workload. So that's essentially why Congress created the Court of Appeals. Appellate court judges, there are 179 circuit judges, and they sit in the 12 appeals courts. Okay, 179 circuit judges sit in the 12 appeals courts, a total of one of the 9 justices of the Supreme Court is assigned to each of the circuits. Now you might say, but there's 12. Yeah, well, some of them would have 2, based on the caseload and stuff like that. Some of those 9 Supreme Court justices might actually have 2 different appeals courts that they have to be a part of. Okay, and they're there to give advice and whatnot. Appellate court jurisdiction, and you remember that appellate means appeals, right? So appellate court jurisdiction, meaning what kind of cases do they hear? They only have appellate jurisdiction. So they only hear cases on appeal from the lower federal courts. That's it. Okay, they don't hear original jurisdiction or anything like that, or concurrent. They just hear appeals. That's why they're called the Court of Appeals. They only hear cases on appeal, appellate jurisdiction. Okay, good. I think I'm giving you enough time. All right, so if you look at this, and this chart is in your book too, I think, but you have your constitutional courts in green. Okay, you have your special courts in blue, and I think section 4 we learn about those, and then you have other courts in the purple. So this is how they start, and then they go to, we have U.S. Court of Appeals for the Armed Forces, 12 U.S. Courts of Appeals, and then the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit. Okay, and the Federal Circuit would be like international trade, federal claims, and veterans claims. Okay, and then all of those, and including the appeals from the higher state courts, meaning this would be like California Court of Appeals. Okay, they can be appealed up to the Supreme Court, which is the top court in the case. Okay, all right, let's keep going. So other constitutional courts, we have the Court of International Trade, which you can imagine they hear things on tariff and other trade related laws. Tariffs are taxes on imports again. Okay. The Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit, the appellate court has nationwide jurisdiction and hears cases from several different courts. Most of the cases in the Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit arise from the U.S. Court of International Trade, Court of Federal Claims, and the U.S. Court of Appeals. And that's what I just showed you on the previous slide. Okay, so most of them come up from there, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Veterans Claims. All right, pause that if you need to. I'm going to keep going just because I want to make sure I'm able to get it done before I pass out here from not feeling well. So, okay, that's it. That's it for that one. Okay, so that's for Tuesday. What I want you to do after you've finished writing your notes is I want you to go and work on your I want you to work on your Supreme Court case, okay? And I'm gonna try to see if I can show whose I've received so far. Sorry. I need to get to the right folder. And then I will share my screen with you in a second just to tell you, just to show you if you've actually shared it with me so far. And if you haven't, I need you to do that ASAP. Even if it's not done, I need you to do it. I need you to share it with me. Hold on, I'm almost there. Projects, SCOTUS project, 2022, fall 2022. Okay, let me share my screen again. Okay, so these are the wins that I have. I don't know whose this is because you didn't put a name on it. Karina, you need to make sure, Karina and Gabby, you need to make sure you put your name on it. These are the ones I have. So I have Emily and Callie's, I have Michelle and Natalie's, I think this is Williams, Justin and JT, Josh, Brody. Isn't it Brody? And aren't you working with somebody, Brody? Brody and Kaylin, yeah. Okay. Karina and Gabby, and then Julie. Okay, so that's definitely not enough. That's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's 13 out of 28 of you. So get on it. So share it with me at my my bconstanzo.lla@gmail.com. Okay, don't send it to my lla.org. Send it to bconstanzo.lla@gmail.com. And make sure you title it the name of the court case. Okay, so you should have plenty of time to work on this in class. I am going to ask the sub to give you a quiz over 18.2 at the end of class, so they'll be able to you'll be able to look at your notes and everything before that. Okay, and okay, I think that's it. So have a good day, y'all, and I will be back on here tomorrow for talking about the Supreme Court. All right, bye.